What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we will be solving first completely painted row or column. So in this problem we have given a matrix or an array. The matrix is of m cross n, and your array contains elements from 1 to m cross n, and your matrix also contains the elements from 1 to m cross n. So what we need to do here is we need to traverse this array ARR, and for each element we need to find its position in the matrix, and we need to paint that cell. And after painting each cell we need to check if either the row or either the column is completely filled or not. If any of row or any of the column is completely filled, we will return that index immediately, because that will be the smallest index. And if we cannot find that, we will return -1 simply. Right, so this is the basic overview of the question. Now let's understand how to implement the question. So we need to traverse the array, and for every element we need to find its position in this matrix. And when we find the position of the element in the matrix, we will paint that particular cell. After painting a particular cell, we will check if any of the row or any of the column is completely filled or not. If it is, we will return the index, and if it is not, we will return -1. That's it. That's the overview, and this is also the brute force approach of this problem. Now let's understand how we can find how we can check if our row or a column is filled or not. Let's understand this. So let's say this is your 0th row and this is your first row, right? So tell me when you can say that your 0th row is completely filled. When you can say that your 0th row is completely filled or completely painted. When this cell and this cell is completely painted, then you can say that your 0th row is completely filled or completely painted, right? So if the 0th row has two filled cells, the 0th row has two filled cells, then we can say that 0th row is completely filled. Yes or no? Yes, we can totally agree with this. And similarly for the first row. For first row, when we can say that it is completely filled, when it has two filled cells. One is this and other one is this, right? Which means that what is this? This will be equals to the number of columns, right? This is the column 1 and this is the column 2. So when the two columns of a particular row is completely filled, then we can say that this row is completely filled. Now what we will do here is we will create two arrays. One is for the row and other one is for the columns, right? And in this we will put the total number of filled cells or painted cells. It's a kind of a frequency array, you can assume it. Similarly for the columns, let's take the example of this matrix only. So for the first element, its position is 0, 0. So the 0th row and the 0th column is completely filled, so it's 1. We will check whether this 1 is equals to the total number of columns or not. So it's equals to 1, it's not equal to 2, so we will move further. then it's 3. So position of 3 is 1 comma 1. So position of 3 is 1 comma 1. So this will be incremented by 1, this will also be incremented by 1, but it's not equals to the total number of columns, right? Then the position of 4 is 0 comma 1. So we will increment the 0th row, that is it will become 2, and 1, 0 comma 1. Now it means that the 0th row is completely filled and the first column is completely filled. You can see it's equals to the 2. 0th row is equals to the 2. So it means that 0th row and the first column, 0th row and the first column is completely filled. As you can see here, this is the 0th row and this is the first column. These are completely filled and we have returned the index, that is 2, right? Now let's try to code this. So to code this, what we will do, firstly we will find the number of rows size. Sorry, it is matrix, so mat.size, and for the column it's mat0.size, and yeah, we will create two vectors, vector of int, let's call this r filled. It will be of row size because it's for the rows, and the column filled, this will be of column size, and we will also create an unordered map. Why we are using unordered map? We are using unordered map to store the position of the elements. Let's call this map, right? Why we use unordered map? Because we know that each element in the matrix or each element in the array is totally distinct. So we can use the element as a key and position as a value. So we use unordered map because it gives a good time complexity for lookups, right? So for that only we used unordered map. And first let's fill the map less than n I plus plus for int j equals to 0, j less than m, j plus plus, mp of the value, that is I, j, will be equals to the position, that is I comma j. So that's how we will fill the map. Now let's paint the matrix. I plus plus, and for the j, it's j less than m, j plus plus, and let's say the element is equals to the mat of I comma j, and we'll find the row comma column via mp of element, right? And we will increment index of r filled or c filled. How we will do so? We will do so like this: r filled of row plus plus, c filled of col plus plus. And after this we will check if any of the row or the column is completely filled or not. And for that we will do if r filled of row is equals to the total number of columns, because as we have discussed that when your row can be completely filled when it's all the columns are completely painted. So which means that the row filled should be equals to the number of columns, that is m. In this case, c filled of column should equals to the number of rows, right? Then we will return that index. If this is not the case, then we will return -1. Let's try to run this. Okay, we have a compile. Okay, I just did some spelling mistake. Let's try to run this. Oh, it's giving the wrong answer. Okay, sorry. We need to iterate on array, not the matrix. I comma arr dot size I plus plus int element equals to arr of I, and auto row comma column is equals to, let's say it's mp of element, and we will increment the r filled of row by 1 and column filled of col by 1. We will check if r filled of row is equals to the column, because only then your row could be completely painted. C filled of column is equals to the rows, and in this case rows is n, in this case column is m, total number of rows and columns. This is the case, we will return I. If it is not, we will return the -1. Let's see, it should run. Yeah, let's submit this. Let's see if it got accepted or not. So yeah, it got accepted. So this is it. This is all about the problem, and this is the solution. If you want to take the screenshot, you're free to take the screenshot. And thank you for watching the video.